Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I apologize for the quietness. It's MLP Dota here for Vici vs RNG. Jumping on last minute as one of the casters unfortunately had to drop out, but we are here to save the day between these two teams, at least for this best of 3 series. Of course, John X Fire will be with me in hopefully just a moment. He's just jumping online as well, but always glad to be here. Well, I can see RNG actually already pulling off first game victory. Looks like VG need to try and catch up, as we do already have a bit of action down at the bot lane. DY gonna come a bit of harassment from Flywind. He'll be all right. Just having a quick look at those lanes as well, because I didn't quite catch the draft. We do have Setsu versus Ori in the mid lane. And top lane, FF and Monet are going to be up against PYW and Yang on the Tide. Of course, this should be a pretty interesting matchup, as RNG are running a Drow strat, TA Leshrac, which is a pretty darn powerful kind of draft to have. Vici Gaming really relying on the Spectre of Eurus to get some work done.
Hello, Mike.
Hello, John. Pleasure of you to be joining us.
Yeah, this is a bit of a surprise.
It is.
This should be a fun one to watch, though. What exactly is this, Mike?
It is VG versus RNG. There's a Drow strat versus a Spectre, John. And while RNG, they've already picked up the first win of this best of 3. So, should be interesting to see if VG can actually pull it back. Though, with a Spectre up against a Drow strat, John, it's going to be a bit of a hard ask.
Definitely is. We have seen Drows played before, although our context is from Southeast Asia. The timing is something that just can kind of fall off. You really want to make sure with this kind of lineup, especially with the Slush, as you mentioned earlier, they should be pushing as hard as they can. Doesn't look like they're bleeding too much space right now, but you want those towers to start melting by the 10 to 15 minute mark.
You certainly do. Well, VG, they are trying to control these lanes. In fact, Monet actually going to end up being the first blood, as PYW and Yang do end up finding the kill. And now they'll find another. FF could not save himself from the LSA, and PYW on the Lena, setting up 2 very important kills very early on in this game number 2.
Yeah, that's a good start here for VG. They're just slowing down the momentum that RNG looks to build up on Monet, on this top lane. If you slow down this Drow, it doesn't flash farm like it used to. When it changes to marksmanship, it's just not going to be bouncing back into that game with no farm.
Well, to the viewers, John, I should quickly say, I apologize if there's any lag or anything like that. I'm still trying to set up things as we cast, John, because it was so last minute. So my apologies if it does, if you do see FPS drops or anything like that. I have to alt-tab for a bit here and there, but still, should be alright. Shouldn't be too long, is what I'm trying to say. It's PYW again, straight onto FF on that Bane, and there's just nothing FF can do about this. Like, the laner can attack from such a far range. The Bane is just really going to struggle. In fact, another LSA landing from PYW, but now they try to turn around FF. Falling low, PYW, the Nightmare will come out from FF. And, well, here comes the Tide. LSA does not connect. Monet will end up finding the kill on the Lena. FF really dragging that out as long as he possibly could. Hello, John.
Am I still here, Mike?
You are, John. It looks like you had a bit of an issue, but you're back. It's all right, John. I appreciate the fact that, you know, you haven't had much time to set up. Flywind actually harassing Eurus quite a lot on that Spectre. And, well, Eurus is not having the greatest of times. I mean, he's farming decently well, but the thing is, he's completely out of region now on the spec. Well, he brings out a Soul Ring, so you do have that constant mana coming in now. And he'll be able to at least spam the Spectral Dagger to find those creep kills. But it has been a little bit rough for this safe lane of VG. as PYW gonna end up finding FF up at the top lane once again, the leaner. Just making so much work happen. Now with those bounty runes, they will be able to find both up at the top lane. It looks like RNG will secure the bot lane bounties and dogfights. Wanted to get in range for the shrine, it seems, and looks like he may try to make a play up at this top lane of the Leshrac. Not sure if you're still having issues, John. It's a bit quiet. Yang gonna chase down Monet. Boat will fly in, but won't connect on anybody. FF gonna get stunned up. Yang will be there. He does brain sap, but Ori's there as well on the Kunkka. Will be another easy kill for Fiji as they do go 4-1 now throughout this laning stage. Very early rotations, all of which though are paying off as of now.
It definitely is. They're finding the kills they want, or at the very least, they're applying the pressure on these heroes that need that early farm. It's going to be a hard ask for RNG to find those early tower pushes now. With a rough start they have. Monet's farm, definitely not up there. He's below even the Tidehunter. So Yang's definitely having a better time here. And with these Drow strats, with the changes to this hero, of course, the timing is very sensitive.
Monet having a rough time. Well, they are going to try and continue securing his farm. Yang now going to cop a Diabolic Edict from Dogfights, but he just doesn't really cop too much damage. Split Earth is available though, so if Dogfights could find the Split Earth, perhaps they could try for the kill, and he will connect it. Monet with the Frost Arrows continuing to slow him out as FF. He'll come in as well, and with the Brain Sap, they will eventually secure that kill.
Yeah, it's a much-needed kill as well. Just giving Monet a bit more to work with, relieving some of that pressure on this safe lane. I'm not sure if you're going to be too unhappy as the Tide. You did need a bit of a reset anyway, so he's just going to be back in full HP, full mana. Still got a lot in the tank, and his Ogre Magi is back to help him out as well.
Bot lane. Boat will fly out onto the Abaddon. Doesn't have level 6 yet, so the borrowed time won't be available for Flywin. He'll have Phonic Shield up, but it looks like they should be able to find this. Eurus continues moving forward. They will not actually get the denial. Flywin ends up going down, and I believe that was actually to the dispersion. So the Mistcore actually ends up killing him. Problem is, it was not the denial he wanted.
Yeah, it's rather unfortunate. It did look like he threw out that Mistcoil a bit too early. Self-damage at level 1 isn't that big, so you're going to have to really be cautious about that deny range on yourself, especially against a hero like that Spec. But speaking of that Spec, Eurus having a pretty darn good time in lane. It's not the most runaway start. Still, you are having a better time than that Slave Lane Drow, and that's all that really matters here.
Absolutely. Well, 5-2. 1k net worth lead remaining for Vici, so they are definitely in the driver's seat. Of course, we haven't really looked at Setsu on the TA, though, who is top of the net worth and isn't really going to slow down with that net worth either. He's got plenty of Ancients to take. Setsu, he will be the man to start setting the tempo for RNG, if any. Especially, we'll have to pretty darn soon, as you already mentioned it, but Eurus is still farming decently on this Spectre, and they're just not shutting him down. It looks like it is going to be the TA's job to try and slow this down throughout the mid-game. And they actually going to show up bot on the Drow. They are going to get an X off into dogfights now with the boat flying in. Ori will connect it. Torrent is there, and they are not going to try and help out that Lesh. Just let him die peacefully. RNG, they just get back to farming in that jungle. Setsu will have his Deso up soon. Eurus hasn't really queued up anything yet, but I assume he will have a Midas flying out, considering the Gloves of Haste he has available. And yeah, he'll queue up the Midas recipe. Fair enough. Of course, you do understand if you are Vici, you do want to drag this out to the later stages of the game. That is exactly what Eurus will do.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Meanwhile, you look at
Vici
Monet.
does get a good amount of runes as well. Although it is, yeah, it's an even trade, 2 for 2. I do want to apologize. Looks like my internet is acting up. For some reason, it's only affecting Discord. So sometimes I am just going to cut out, and I can't really fix that.
That's okay, John. It's alright, we'll forgive you.
Dire's middle tower
Ori.
is under attack.
Ori appears to be going for a very quick Heaven's Halberd on the Kunkka. Does make enough sense, because you know that TA is going to be a problem. So that Halberd will pay dividends here for the side of Vici Gaming.
Dire's middle
Overall, though, I mean, you talked about the timing before about these Drow strats. RNG, I mean, they're definitely a little bit behind right now, apart from Setsu. Are they still on track to really get that mid-game boost that they're looking for?
It really depends if Setsu can find those key kills that he needs to get as this game goes on.
is under
I mean, after that Desolator, he's still having to farm up that Blink before he can really start to find stuff. You don't really have a natural initiator on RNG's draft as well, so they're just going to have to run up and start these fights until the Blink is up in this TA. And that's going to be the key item for RNG to wait out on. Setsu with a Blink should be setting pace, trying to buy his time for Monet to find that farm, to get big on this Drow, and hopefully apply pressure on those towers later on. As it is right now, it's rough. They've lost a lot of towers already. They've lost a lot of map control. Setsu's going to have to soak up a lot of jungle farm, and so will Monet. But that, again, the Drow is just not the fastest jungle farmer anymore. Marksmanship changes has kind of hurt her over time, and the jungle's not as profitable.
Yeah. He'll keep it up, though. I mean, although it isn't as profitable, it's really the only option he has. So he'll just keep going until he gets that Hurricane Pike up at least. You can already see Vici getting set up to try and roam through that jungle and find this Drow.
bottom tower is under attack.
And they will just hug the east side of his jungle. The spot lane, T1 tower does go down to dogfights, but now they want to punish Yang going forward. He does not have mana for the Ravage, but he does have the Soul Ring available. Yang, does he bother? Yeah, he definitely does. Goes straight for that Leshrac. Now Flywin is a bit of a sitting duck on the Abaddon. Nice Fire Blast from DY, and although nice deny coming out from Flywin straight onto Ori. But you still lost the Leshrac in the end.
Not the most amazing trade here for RNG. The saving grace is that they did manage to get one tower, but at the cost of 2 heroes. Probably not the most even trade. I'd say it's a slight win for VG. You haven't lost too much from RNG with that. You are giving gold to Monet, you are giving gold to Setsu. You'd rather not bleed out that early momentum on your other heroes, because you have a timer, and you have to hit that, although VG is ready to force more.
FF. Get daggered up. He'll be alright. Just walk out of there. Vici Gaming, though, just sticking as a team. They don't want to get caught off guard. And that's one of the things about versing the TA, right? As long as you're not alone, Setsu can't pick you off one by one. And Setsu, he does have a Deso up now as well, so he definitely has the potential to do so. But Vici are playing this very, very smart. Just do not split up. Do not give him the opportunity. And that way, you just buy more time for someone like Eurus to just keep farming up on that Spectre. Though, as I say that, Setsu was pushing forward with the trap slow on the Ogre. Looks like he wants to try and apply some tier 2 tower pressure. In fact, the rest of RNG are with him now. They will stick around, at least for now. See if they can find those pickoffs they want. Yang, he doesn't have Ravage available as well, so it does seem like a good opportunity to go for this team fight. And RNG, that is exactly what they're going to try and do.
Yeah, this is going to be a very scary team fight to take. They don't have a Ravage, they do have the boat.
And Flywin cops a lot of damage. Borrowed time is going to be there. RNG just don't seem confident. They're just not ready to take this push yet. They do a tiny bit of damage on that tier 2. They force the rotations. They back off. Problem still exists. Eurus has his Midas up and is still farming the jungle.
That's the one thing RNG really needs to keep in check here. Just slow down the Spectre, keep it down. Try to mitigate the farm from Eurus. Otherwise, with that Haunt, it's very easy to find Monet, remove that marksmanship buff, and just clear out that Drow. It's a straightforward kill for VG, which is why they went for this Spectre in the first place.
Well, now a blink will come up on Setsu. Top of the net worth, yet to find a kill or even be involved in a kill, this TA. Still very focused on just keeping the farm up. Though surely once this blink is up, you'd think he'd try to make the attempt.
He definitely should. With this blink, he has to be active. He has to give RNG, give his team some momentum back, buy some space in the map, try to force some bad fights for Vici. They have to keep track of their cooldowns. So force one Ravage out of desperation, then you can clean up quite fast. Force a bad Haunt out of Eurus, and suddenly you can have a lot more control on this map. Just try to find those kinds of fights, those kinds of pickoffs. Even if it's just one ultimate blown and you don't actually find a kill, that's still a pretty big win for RNG. That gives them space to pressure lane, at the very least.
I mean, but look at Vici. Just smoked up again, sticking as a team, not giving any opportunities. Yang will be up at top lane and you'll see dogfights, but won't go for the Ravage TP cancellation. RNG, understanding they can't do anything about the fact that VG is just staying together, will just try and push out that bot lane again, though the immediate TP rotations do come in. Eurus is there on the front. DY throws out the Fire Blast, but makes his position pretty darn obvious. Monet wants to go for it. There's the Haunt coming out. Where are they going? PY, he cops a lot of damage. Heaven's Halberd will stop him from moving more forward. They did find DY on the Ogre. RNG, do they want to go for more? No, they absolutely do not. Setsu will TP up top and get back to farming. Looks like dogfights will just be the sacrificial lamb here on the Leshrac. I suppose RNG, they'll probably still be satisfied with that. You find one kill, you find the tower, and you just get back to it.
On top of that, they did manage to bait out the Haunt. They only paid with, again, they only paid for that with their Lesh. Not going to be too unhappy. With that Haunt down, you're not going to be seeing Eurus take these risky fights, the risky farm. He's going to be playing safe. RNG can abuse that with Setsu. You could either try jumping him in lane, expect his movements in jungle. They do have some nice deep wards to spot out the jungle farm as well. So RNG, they have a bit of a moment here where they can go on the hunt. Does tie in nicely with that blink timing on Setsu.
FF gonna get the Fiend Trip off on the Ogre. Monet is there with the DPS. There is a dagger coming in from the Spect. There's no way that Eurus could try and help him out. So he'll immediately TP into that mid lane, trying to just secure more farm on this Spectre. But RNG are officially online with this draft. I suppose the one thing holding them back right now is the farm of the Drow, because of the laning stage Monet did have. But he's got the Draglance. In fact, he's got the full Hurricane Pike in the stash right now. He'll bring it out on the courier soon. And I suppose that will help his cause in these team fights, especially just keeping the distance.
Definitely does. I like the farming pace coming out from Monet. Despite that rough start, still keeping up fairly okay against Eurus. That's about a 700 gold deficit. Still not good, but you have to consider the circumstance of that lane. Monet is still somehow finding farm without any sort of farm accelerating item.
Nice Nightmare. FF stopping the X back on the Kunkka. That was just some fantastic timing. As he was about to go back, he nightmares him up, and now they chase for more. PYW gonna be the target. Setsu, whoa, LSA actually connects on 4. They weren't chasing anyway any longer, but that was a fantastic stun. Unfortunate that there was no follow-up. Well, the T1 mid tower, not going to be long for this world. DY, he'll throw out a stun. Could be in danger as RNG are going to start chasing. They'll let it go though, as it could be a bait from VG. And again, just surgical from RNG right now. Take a tower, farm again, take a tower, farm again. It's just a fantastic pattern. Yang now does have the blink up as well on the Tide, so he's got this great initiation with that Ravage. Meanwhile, Eurus has the Yasha up. Gonna go straight into that Manta style and just needs the ultimate orb. In fact, he is very, very close to picking that full Manta up. One of those things with the Drow strat, though, is you've got to kind of be careful about those core items and leaving yourself buyback gold, because they could really go for those tier 3s super early on if you're not careful. So you've always got to kind of keep buyback gold on you. As I say that, Setsu, he'll just buy out a BKB now, so if he was already a problem, he just became a hell of a lot more of a problem. Now there's really no way to control him in the team fights. RNG.
Radiant are scanning.
They move towards that tier 1 top tower now. Setsu just takes it so quickly. Meanwhile, by the shrine, Yang gonna go on to fly one on the Abaddon, but he's pretty darn tanky and has borrowed time. Tier 1 has already gone down.
You are starting to see RNG build up here. They are maximizing that early push. It's a bit late, but as long as they still find these objectives, you're in a pretty good spot. The high ground siege has to come out within the next 10 minutes or so. That is what will probably keep them in the game. If they lose out in that timing, it's going to be a bit rough. You will start to see Eurus' Spectre play a bigger part, although this smoke might slow that down.
Yeah, trapped there. He runs the other way. Dogfights. He's just trapped up. They surround him, though. Nice haunt, but they got the silence off. He can't actually get to another Spectre illusion, though. Ravage catches all 5 from Yang, and now they'll turn it around. The boat flies in. Fly, when he's been X'd up, he is not as tanky when there's 5 heroes surrounding. He doesn't have borrowed time either. The blink initiation from Yang. The 5-man Ravage, my goodness.
Oh, everything fell together there for VG. It looked pretty good for RNG. They did manage to find Eurus out. They couldn't press him down fast enough. And that's a real big turnaround for RNG. This is a good sign for VG. I mentioned them having a pretty good bounce back. When you lose your heroes like that in a team fight, that most certainly gives VG a lot more to work with. And now they can take the Roach on for free on top of that. The buyback is out. I don't think that's going to be enough.
But they're going to be quick. It's too late. Setsu, he jumps in. Straight on the Ogre. They'll end up finding DY. Eurus, he's the one with the Aegis. He'll get away. This game just got a whole lot harder for the side of RNG. 3k net worth lead now to the side of Vici Gaming. Aegis up on the spec, so he's just that much harder to kill. And he's going to pick up a defusal very, very soon as well. Once you've got that defusal, you can actually start fighting with your team and being effective. And it's getting close to that point where Eurus may start getting out of control.
It's definitely starting to get there. Again, the timing for RNG is going to be that 10 minutes. So in the next 10 minutes, they want to be able to clear out this map. Start poking that high ground. Otherwise, you're going to be losing effectivity on this Lesh. Losing the effectiveness of the Drow. And there's only so much one hero Setsu can do. Although he is trying, he's going for raw damage. Going for that Daedalus build, which we haven't seen too often on a lot of the TAs we've watched, but that is Southeast Asia. So this could be the preferred build in China.
Apologies, John. I've got to quickly AFK. I forgot my window open, so my neighbors can hear quite a lot. Give me 1 second. You keep talking. I'll be right back. Alright, I am back in the nick of time. Whew, that would have been awkward. The neighbors might complain if I leave that open too long. As you can see, Vici Gaming trying to get in range to start another fight. They had the Ravage available. RNG, they are not interested in fighting while that Ravage is up on Yang. Especially after that last engagement. You're going to at least need some more BKBs up, and that's exactly what Monet is trying to do on the Drow Ranger. Well, once you've got that up, perhaps you'd be interested. You've got a pipe up now on the Abaddon as well. The Yang is still searching. Setsu. Gets X'd up. They're not going to initiate though, it was just a bit of a threat.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Vici. Monet, haunted on. The vision's there. They get the Yules off just in the nick of time. Now the Light Strike away and the Laguna Blade. He got the BKB before he died. But what a haunt coming in to give the vision for the Yules. So mid lane, they are chasing DY on the Ogre. He's a bit tanky of a support. In fact, they're going to try and turn this. They're looping around. Ori, he has the boat ready to go. RNG do not want a part of this. They get out. The 13-6, 3k net worth lead remains for Vici Gaming. And now they are going to start pushing towards that mid-tier 2.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
X, Flywind, gonna cop it. Torrent is gonna be there. Of course, he has borrowed time, but maybe not. He does pop it finally, though they will use him up. They really want this Abaddon. Flywind is gonna be able to get away thanks to the Nightmare of the Bane. Boat will fly in. Flywind, he was X'd up. He'll get taken down surely, though. Nice Split Earth coming out from Dogfight to stop the push in. But there's the Laguna. Now Eurus, though. Fiend's Grip is there, but Yang, he jumps in with the Ravage. BKBs were there in time, but PYW, he's on a double. Setsu, he's gonna try and turn this around. Heaven's Halberd, though, he can't right-click right now. PYW tries to run. Eurus will go down. Triple for Setsu.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
And it looks super bad for RNG,
That
but they
was just-
turn it.
It went from one very good kill on Monet up atop to a very disastrous team fight down mid. The BKBs flying out from RNG, definitely saving the day there. Just managing to use it before that Ravage hit some crucial heroes. And that just turned everything for them. They managed to find the kill on that Spectre, and that alone was enough to turn it. Without that Spec, you're really not doing too much. And you have to consider the fact that Eurus was way too far forward. They already lost their tide at that point. There's really just not much you can do. You know, you have to respect the amount of damage sets you can pump out, especially with his itemization he went for. The raw damage is way up there. Right now he's doing about, 400 odd damage when he does have that refraction up. So it's pretty terrifying.
Ori. Running around in Invis Rune right now. Gonna spot out Dogfights, and Dogfight's obviously gonna have no ideas here, but here comes PYW. Nay, he'd be an amazing target, and Ori, well, there's the LSA. Give the vision, haunt in as well. And it's just perfect from VG. They'll grab one of those main priority pickups on the side of RNG. Setsu, can he turn it onto Eurus? He will not try. But he has to be the saving grace for RNGs. He is just the most farmed up by a long shot as well. Currently has the MKB up now, going straight into the Daedalus. He's 5k net worth, ahead of the Spectre. But this Drow just, if it continues to get caught out like that, they just can't afford to take advantage of this net worth.
They definitely can't. And that's the issue when you go into a Spectre up against a Drow matchup. It's just rough. They can do that every single time. When they have vision on that Drow, they have a hero nearby. Just pop that Haunt if it's off cooldown. Get an easy kill. Slow down the enemy's team. And that's exactly what VG has been doing the past few moments. Their net worth lead isn't amazing, just 2k. So it's still anyone's game in terms of that advantage. But in terms of momentum, it surely is on VG's side.
A lot of that is due to the PYW on that POS 4 Lena, just continuing to make so much work happen. And Eurus has been given all the space in the world. He's going to have an Eye of Skadi up pretty darn soon on the Spectre. Of course, Ori during all these team fights, continuing to throw out that Heaven's Halberd straight on Setsu and really saving his teammates quite a few times with that. Just not allowing Setsu to get in the groove throughout these engagements. They've got to do something about this Halberd. He is just always on point with it. RNG now going to look through the Radiant side jungle, see if they can spot this Spectre out. Eurus, though, of course, will not risk it, understanding there's no vision around that area. It looks like he will just be very, very cautious about how he roams the map. 30 minutes in, though. RNG still okay with this Drow strat. But again, I kind of point out the fact over and over again that it is really just Setsu that's taking advantage of it right now, as he does have a Daedalus up. This man, he is farmed so insanely well. Vici are going to stick as a team. They won't leave each other's side. And they really can't afford to either. They're so reliant on just hitting all those disables. We'll see a smoke come out from RNG. Roshan up in 3 seconds. Not sure if they go for the Rosh, but they're drawing a line around that Roshan. They'll scout it out with the TA trap, though. Now they've got a decision to make, and Setsu, he knows what he wants. Or maybe he'll just sit there and meld and wait. Torrent will connect onto Setsu, though, and he will just get started on the Roshan. They can take it down so darn quick.
Oh man.
My goodness. Poor Roshan, he just popped up. He doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah, that's mainly coming out from Setsu. He's just geared up for raw right clicks. And of course you have the Drow factor coming in there. So you can really just eat through big targets like that. Really good take from RNG. They recognize that after the Torrent was out, that's basically all their scouting that they're free to, you know, that spammable scouting capability. That's the only thing they had. And that did allow them to just clear out. So, a big win for RNG. Let's see if they can maximize that, though.
Well, they're going to try and look for a target. Setsu, he has a double damage. He would love to fight right now. Eye of Skadi will come up onto the Spectre, but he does leave himself with no buyback, and I talked about that before. It's a very dangerous game having no buyback gold, as you are maybe going to go into a team fight. Monet will continue focusing down that tier 2 tower, but VG are ready to go. RNG, who have they jumped on straight on the ledge, so Dogfight's going to survive for now. Nightmare, the boat will fly in. He does eat the cheese, and now they turn it. Yang, he still has Ravage. Haunt will be there. You've got to wait out those BKBs, though, from Setsu as he does try and go out of this team fight. Yang jumps in now, gets a massive Ravage again, and this looks disastrous for RNG as Setsu is melting. He'll go down to Ori. Monet fighting back. He'll get DY. Eurus, though, is not done. He'll go straight after Monet. Get that Aegis. They found the Abaddon. There is a buyback from the TA, but he cannot bite this as they will lose Monet on the Drow. And it's all just about Yang waiting so darn patiently for that perfect Ravage opportunity. And with that, Vici will run straight through mid.
It's going to be a rough defense for our RNG. They have to sit through those respawns and their supports unless they force a buyback. Even then, I don't see what an Abaddon and Bane can do in this situation. All you can really hope for is for Setsu to shove out other lanes. If he was in position to cut, he would have, but he's not. So they might just have to take this mid lane loss. Although, VG, they could go for more. They're going to play it safe. Not going to be risking it. They pulled... Oh.
Jules?
Oh, okay.
It'll be a buyback. It'll be a dieback.
Monet called GG.
What?
He called GG.
That's a bit
They GG'd
premature.
out. I don't know what's up, but I guess they realized that they've lost too much for the Drow and the Leshrac. They didn't find enough early kills. I mean, that's just a very early GG, though.
It was. I can kind of understand where he's coming from. I think we both can. But I agree with you that it is a little bit early. Nevertheless, that'll make it a 1-1, which makes it very interesting for us as we can head off to the third game very, very soon. Of course, John, you were having some Discord issues, so we'll have a look into that and see if we can sort that out while we may have a short break. Unfortunately, though, I'm not 100% set up with the standby screen yet, John, so if you don't mind us having a conversation for a second,
No problem, Mike.
so I don't embarrass myself to the viewers.
Well, that's a hard one. You just kind of do that by yourself.
All
Should
right.
be interesting. Like I'm not too familiar with the brackets for China because we were doing C for a very long time.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna go check that out. Is this the deciding match already to go into
Yes.
qualifiers, and then and then there's gonna be the third place fight, right? So the
Correct.
loser is not out; they drop down for the last slot, and then the loser of that goes into the minor qualifiers.
You would be correct.
All right. So it's still a lot on the line. Of course, you'd rather not play more games if you could. You want to conserve your energy and just get yourself guaranteed in. But there's a lot of safety nets for these teams. I'd have to say this is a lot of safety nets because they've nestled in those two qualifiers together. So the pressure's still there. At the same time, you do have chances to get something else anyway. You know,
Absolutely.
it's a strange situation in my mind. Like the stakes are high, but they're also uh, padded for comfort.
Well, with that, John, luckily I am now done. Thank you for that. We'll go into the game 3 very, very soon. In fact, I believe the game's already started. So we'll try and jump into that ASAP. It's MLP Dota and John X Fire. We'll be back with you guys very, very soon for that decider match between these two teams.